Well, good afternoon. We are being recorded now. My name is Terry Golightly, and we have our presentation on Vocareum coming up. And we have with us today, sharing, we have Xiaojing Duan. She plays the learning platforms and analytics architect role in the Office of Information Technology at the University of Notre Dame. She has over 10 years experience in researching and developing innovative technologies in an effort to improve teaching and learning. Her current primary focuses include building a highly secure and scalable learning record warehouse to collect data from multiple platforms, perform data analysis to draw actionable insights on the improvement of student learning outcomes, and develop intuitive visualization dashboards to communicate those insights with instructors, advisors, and program directors. Xiaojing has proficient knowledge of instructional design and learning theories. She also has strong technical background and proven success in LMS such as Sakai, edX, and Moodle, development and administration. Xiaojing holds master's degrees in both instructional technology and computer science. Pat has worked at the University of Notre Dame for over 20 years in a variety of roles, including business intelligence manager and leading data migration and integration teams in a major ERP implementation at the university. Most recently, he has been leading the university's learning management systems team and implementing a centralized learning analytics environment that integrates activity from the LMS, video repositories, ePortfolio, and other third-party systems. So we'll let Pat and Xiaojing tell us all about their program.
Okay, thank you, Terry. In the past, we've done some workshops together on learning analytics, but at this virtual conference, we thought we'd highlight an LTI tool for virtual computing that many faculty have found very useful for their courses, especially courses that involve programming and other compute-intensive type environments. So first of all, I'll say a little bit about Vocareum. We actually found this product about 3 years ago at EDUCAUSE. Laura Geckler had done a pilot project for one of our professors of chemical engineering who was looking for a way to simplify the setup of environments for his students in a Python intensive course. The course is actually a chemical engineering course, but he used Python a lot for simulating chemical engineering processes. We did actually a pilot with a company way back when, maybe 3.5 years ago. And it was not very successful, and the company never was able to create an LTI integration. So as I mentioned, Laura was looking at EDUCAUSE and found this company called Vocareum. It was really a startup at that time too. But they were willing to work on LTI and work with us in integrating it with Sakai. It's a cloud-based tool that creates a virtual computing environment for each student accessible from a browser. And it supports a number of languages. You see the list there. It also, in the past year, is now supporting AWS web services. And we have one professor who's already said that, there's no way he's going to do without Vocareum because otherwise, it requires too much manual setup for the students to have their own AWS environment. It also is now supporting AppStream, which is a virtual desktop, which can become very useful if you're trying to use a proprietary product that requires licensing. In our case, Xiaojing will demonstrate the use with MATLAB. It supports auto-grading of coding assignments, and it supports LTI, including grade return. And we're very happy that Vocareum has been willing to enhance their LTI. Initially, every assignment had to have its own LTI connection. Now, with the deep linking, a single LTI connection with Vocareum allows you to set up assignments and they get automatically created in the gradebook. So why use a tool like Vocareum? So yeah, it's a very specialized tool. And actually going back to the talk earlier today in the keynote, I think this is just one example of a type of tool that's very specific for a particular type of course. So it, you can see it, you can think of it as a particular toolkit for this type of compute-intensive environment. It then requires less time spent on software installs for the instructor. Students don't have to have powerful computers, so it levels the playing field. We have an example of a student in the older environment who didn't even have a computer, so couldn't meet a lot of the requirements for his engineering course. All assignments can be provided with starter code. The instructor can set up auto grading of coding assignments. We just had a comment from one of the, a younger chemical engineering professor who said it's really allowed him to change his course so that it's more of a flipped course where he can give the students an assignment before the class. It automatically gets auto graded, and the students can see where they've gone wrong on a problem. It supports licensed tools now with upstream tools like MATLAB, which requires licenses. Some additional features: it has rich assessment capabilities, automated scoring, inline code feedback, plagiarism detection if you want your code to be checked through this feature. It allows gamification via something like leaderboards, where you could have assignments and have the students compete with each other. It has automatic homework distribution to graders. It also supports team projects and peer reviewed. And with that, we'll go right into our demo. Xiaozheng will be doing that part of the presentation.
Thanks, Pat. Yeah, on our campus, the main usage of Vocareum is to use it to help teach a programming language class like Python or R. And as Pat mentioned, we have been testing Amazon's virtual desktop app, solution AppStream in Vocareum. So first, let me show you how Vocareum can help teach a programming class. Let's take Python for an example. And can you all see my screen? It's a Firefox browser.
Yes.
Thank you. So nowadays, the most popular programming environment or development environment for Python is a Jupyter Notebook. So beauty of Jupyter Notebook is it allows you to write code, execute code in a web browser. And even better, you can include some narrative text, images, videos to make your code more user-friendly. And the finished product in a Jupyter Notebook environment is called Jupyter Notebook. A notebook is comprised by a number of cells. A cell is just a container of content. Like all these cells is a container of just markdown text. And this cell is containing some HTML code. And this is a cell with some live code. And I can just write, and as some of you may already guessed, the output is just to print the message, hello world. So with a Jupyter Notebook, writing code and test it and execute is very easy. Let's just take a quick example. Like I want to welcome a user to this program. I want to ask a user for his or her name first. I just put in, please enter your name. And then I print out a welcome message. Welcome. And now it's done. I can just execute it. It's asking for my name. I am Sky Girl. Oh, there are some errors. And I need just to spend some time to debug this. I think it's, I'm getting this. Oh, I don't have the name in it. Now let's give it a try again. Sky Girl. Welcome, Sky Girl. And as you can see, and Jupyter Notebook makes it writing code, debugging it, and execute much easier. And you may be wondering, since Jupyter Notebook is open source application, why do we need Vocareum? The key is, in order to use Jupyter Notebook, you have to have a Jupyter server deployed somewhere. Before Vocareum, some of our instructors are helping the students to deploy the Jupyter Notebook on their own laptops. As you can imagine, they spend quite some time to help students to set up the environment and help them debug any problems they run into. But Vocareum took away all those burdens. With Vocareum, you can just write code and execute code in any browser. Next, let me walk you through students' experience on how to submit a coding assignment through Vocareum. As Pat mentioned, Vocareum provides a LTI integration. So any users can access it directly from Sky without a separate login. I am going to personate our famous student Sheldon Cooper and going to work on the Python assignment. I just click on the assignment link. Now I am redirected to the Vocareum environment, presented with a Jupyter Notebook environment. I click on this existing Jupyter Notebook, and there are some instructions provided by my instructor, and with detailed steps on how to complete this assignment. First, I'm going to run this cell, and to save time, I prepare with some cheat sheet. I'm just going to copy over the main functions and replace it here. Yeah. Yeah. Now I am going to ask for users' input. Well, do the same thing for the second number. By the way, this homework requires me to calculate the average number of the three numbers provided by any three numbers provided by the user. So I am going to call the function I wrote. And that's the average number. And now I am going to print it out. And I think that I'm just going to run it. Now it's asking me for the first number. I give it 3, second number 4, and third number 5. And says the average is 4. It looks correct to me. So I think I am ready to submit this assignment. To submit it, I just click on the submit button. And it asks me to double check if I want to submit it. Click yes. And this is showing me, notifying me my submission is recorded. Now let's take a look at how the instructors can grade this submission. Let's go back to my Firefox browser, and I need to switch to the correct assignment. That's the assignment 1, and click on dashboard and the submissions. Here I see Sheldon's submission, and I can click on the view button to see his work. Again, I am provided with a Jupyter notebook environment, and this is Sheldon's work. With the output, just to double check he didn't hard code anything in the program, I'm just going to run it again with 3 different numbers and to see if it works. Yeah, it looks like it works. And I can provide some inline comment that good job on return the result. And for this assignment, I have 3 rubrics. One is to see if the code actually functions correctly. So for this, I'm going to give it 10 points. Usability, and yeah, I think it's user-friendly because the code is giving the user the proper prompt to ask the user what to provide. So I am going to give it a 5. For the efficiency and for the main code, there are only 3 lines of code. I think Sheldon did a very good job. So I'm going to give a 5 points. And after this, the grade is recorded in Vocareum. And the next question you might have is, can the grade be sent back to Sakai gradebook? The answer is yes. And we can come back to Sakai. And as Sheldon again, let's go to gradebook. Right now, the assignment 1 is returned at 100 because the default maximum point for grade entry is 100, but I can change it to the correct maximum point 20 in Sakai. After I do that, it's this one. The maximum point value, as I said, the default one is 100. If I change it to 20, let's add it to the proper category and include it for the final course letter grade and save changes. Now, let's push the grades again. After I push the grades again, and you should see a 20 for Sheldon instead of based on the default maximum point of 100. I do a push grade. So all this, we already had the submission before. So when I push the grades, it will push all the grades. So I do this. All the grades are pushed to Sakai gradebook successfully. Let's go to Sakai gradebook to take a look. Yeah, Sheldon now has a 20. So this is a demo of how the Vocareum can facilitate students to submit a Python assignment and also assist the instructors how to grade it. Since we still have some time, I can walk you through very quickly on how we are testing the AppStream in Vocareum. As Pat mentioned, AppStream is an Amazon solution for virtual desktop. So with that, you can run a desktop application like a MATLAB in a browser, through a browser. And to do that, what the Vocareum did is to wrap it, the upstream in an assignment. So for some MATLAB assignment, students need to access the MATLAB software. And what Vocareum did is to add that upstream into the assignment itself, make it much easier for the students to access it. Now let's take an example on that. Come back as Sheldon again and move on to the next assignment. Assignment 2 is a MATLAB assignment. If I click on that, it redirects me to the Vocareum again. But you can see it has a different interface because this is not a Python assignment. I didn't configure the default interface to be Jupyter Notebook. I configured to use Vocareum's default interface. So it has some navigation bar here and a file browser and a file reader here. As you can see, there is this upstream button. So if I click on it, it will launch a virtual desktop. On this virtual desktop, we have all these applications available. I am going to click MATLAB and run it. This may take a while. While it's launching, I can share with you another use case. Let's say Sheldon already has MATLAB installed on his computer. And so for this assignment, he already completed the assignment. He doesn't need to launch upstream to do the assignment. To accommodate this use case, Vocareum allows us to upload a file from the local computer. Let's say Sheldon created this simple MATLAB script to create just a sine plot. And he can just upload it to the Vocareum. And now it's done. Let's take a look and see if MATLAB on upstream is still not available. So let's say Sheldon is ready to submit the file he just uploaded to Vocareum. All he needs to do is just click on the submit button. And yes, I'm ready to submit. Now, I'm reminded again, the submission is recorded. As you can see, it's also showing on this file browser. And that's my first submission. And this submission includes this MATLAB script. Let's check again if upstream's MATLAB, oh, it's still not ready.
Well, this might be a good time to see if anybody has questions about anything so far.
Sure.
If you do, please type it in on the chat.
Yeah, while you are typing your questions, if you have any, I can show you how the instructors can grade that submission, that lab submission. Again, let's move to the right assignment, assignment 2, and submissions. Now I see Sheldon's submission. I click view here. And Sheldon's MATLAB script is here. There are 2 ways to grade this. One is just to eyeball it to see if it is correct. Another way is to launch the upstream again and run the script in MATLAB itself. Since I'm still launching the MATLAB as Sheldon, so I'm not going to launch it again as an instructor. And as I can see, this function looks correct. So I am going to give it the full point and then save. Again, the grade is pushed back to Sakai Gradebook automatically. See, Sheldon's 10 points on the assignment 2 is recorded in Sakai Gradebook. Hopefully, yeah. Now the MATLAB upstream is ready. And let's see if I have another. Yeah, MATLAB script. Yeah, I have this ready. So I am going to create a short script. to just to convert the temperature from Fahrenheit to the Celsius. And after this is done, oh, sorry, I need to create a new script. This is just in the command.
Okay, we're at the 5-minute mark.
Okay.
Okay, just want to run it very quick, and I need.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm premature there. We actually have 10 minutes. What am I thinking?
Okay.
Okay. Temperature conversion. Just to save the MATLAB script. Have to pass. Did I? It should ask me. Why it's not running? It should run. Oh, you know what? It's because of, yeah, because of this. Now it's asking me to enter a degree in the Fahrenheit. Let's say 32. Yeah, 32 Fahrenheit is 0 degree in Celsius. So after all this is done, and as Sheldon, I can come back here and then click the submit to submit my work in the app stream.
Xiaojing, there is a question from Jennifer.
Yes, sure.
Since this is an LTI, she asks, can instructors launch Vocarium from Sakai, or do they log into the software to grade only?
Oh, they can launch it from Sakai. And this is my instructor view in Sakai. And if they click on any of these assignments, and they are logged into the Vocareum directly from Sakai. You see, they see a different interface from the student Sheldon. Yeah. From here, they can click on the dashboard. Again, the same steps: submissions, view student submission, and then grade.
Well, it's helpful to have that clarified. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Any other questions?
So far, that's what's there.
Okay. Yeah, I should mention something about cost. Right now, we are running Vocarium as a 2-year pilot, and we're getting funding from the Provost's office. So there's no charge on licensing. However, when we first started, some departments were getting their own licenses from Vocarium by basically passing on a $25 per student fee through the bookstore. Other departments were paying, the license ahead of time. Because we found so much interest in Vocarium as a tool, the Provost's office has agreed to fund it for a couple of years. And we're hoping that the university will actually fund a campus-wide license, especially as more and more courses are using coding, tools like Python and R and other languages, in their courses. So we're hoping that we'll have actually a campus-wide license at some point.
So currently it's like a per user basis.
Right.
Okay.
Yes. But as I said, it's, some department, our College of Business was passing the costs through the bookstore. So students would actually purchase a, $25 coupon that they would then be allowed to enter into the software. But like I said, now they don't, because it's being funded by the university. And the hope is going forward that we will have a campus-wide license. Hopefully our costs will be lower than the $25 per student, because if we get a campus-wide license, usually you get a large volume discount.
well, $25 is cheaper than any textbook you're going to find.
Right. Yes, exactly. Yeah. And especially if you're not using a textbook and instead putting all of your documentation and everything within the tool and your, your course material in the tool or in Sakai, then, you can bypass using a textbook.
There you go.
Yes.
Any other questions? We are now at the 5-minute mark, so this is a great time for questions. Do you have more, Xiaoxing, that you want to show us?
That's it.
Okay.
If there are any other questions, if there, want to see more,
I can see some real advantages to this tool. It looks very powerful and still easy to use.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
It removes the burden from the instructor to help the students to set up the environment. Yeah.
Now, in some courses, you may want the student to be setting up the environment, but then in other courses, you want to have everyone on the same playing field. So the tool won't be necessarily the tool to use for every type of computer course, but
sure.
Yeah, but certainly for courses where you want, especially if you have a large course, we know that there are some schools that teach this type of material to like 500 students at a time. And the only way they can do it is through a tool like this, because it would be so much effort to try to set up 500 students in their computing environment.
I was interested to see if Dr. Chuck was going to sign in, but he didn't. Of course, he teaches a big MOOC on Python.
Right. Yeah.
And that sees thousands, tens of thousands of students at a time.
Right. Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Sorry, our signal that our time is up.
Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Well, it's been really good, a good presentation. Thank you for your preparation.
Thank you.
Thank you.